Hi people. This is Silver Lee. I am in my room, staying from the outside. So like this coronavirus is like really, really like scary, serious. I know I was doing like some research and like from just being educated and knowing about pandemics and studying about pandemics. Um, I was thinking about like in the year uh 541 BCE during the very first bubonic plague, how the Europeans, how they survived, which was they were staying inside. The reason why the bubonic plague had killed out a lot of the European nationality during that time, during the bubonic plague, is because, or, you know, there was a bubonic plague outbreak also in 1546, I think, because people wouldn't listen to the governments. They told them to, you know, stay inside. It's like the exact same thing that we're going through today. And I just think that hopefully, like, just things doesn't go the way, well, that I think it's going to go. You know, everyone has their own opinion about situations and everything. Um, so like I was saying about the bubonic plague, people were out traveling, getting married, partying, just going about everyday life like there wasn't nothing wrong. And of course, a lot of people were infected because they were still communicating and being around each other and stuff. So after so many like years, after people started dying out, the outbreak had stopped. The pandemic of the bubonic plague stopped because there wasn't no more host to infect. And so hopefully people take note about things that's going on because it's really crazy out there. I mean, oh my gosh. So um, just be careful, pray to God, and pray to God Jehovah, and just stay inside and stay sanitary. See, like my daily routine, this is what I do all day, every day. So when I wake up in the morning, of course, I wash my face, brush my teeth, gargle with reciprocal or peroxide, and then I sanitize everything from the doorknobs, even though nobody hasn't been in or out of the house. I sanitize in the morning when I wake up. Then I cook a light breakfast. I don't even use silverware. I don't use dinnerware. I use nothing but paper plates, cups, because bacteria and viruses could live on plates and cups. And in the meantime, you know, using utensils, eating ware for like, you know, paper plates and paper cups and plastic forks and spoons and everything, is a lot better than the actual real thing because it lessens any type of new bacteria entering into the body, going into the nose or eyes and stuff like that. Let's see. I everything that I rub down with, I use alcohol, 91%. I have like 70%, but I only use that like for my hands or something. But everything else, I wipe down with 90%. Personally, I changed my room around. I cleaned everything from the ceiling to the bottom, the window sills, the corners with Lysol and everything. And vinegar and water is really good too. Even though it doesn't kill anything, but it keeps like little bugs away throughout the day. Even though like I don't go anywhere, no one in the house goes anywhere. I use we wash our hands at least 6 times a day. 6 times a day or more. We have like, you know, our Alexa that tells us it's 1:30, wash your hands, everybody. It's 2 o'clock, 2:30, wash your hands, everybody. It's 4 o'clock, wash your hands, everybody. It's 5 o'clock, sanitize furniture. So so you won't be forgetful, or if you need to be reminded to sanitize the furniture. I use like bleach Clorox wipes or germicide disinfectant wipes, which are really, really good. Pretty expensive, they're pricey, but there's really good. The mask that I have are N95. I don't use N95. Well, I have a couple of N95s, but we wear those sometimes around the house if we open if the door is open, front door. But like if one of us is going out like to the store or to get gas or just to pay bills or something, like since we don't have direct deposit, we that's when we wear either a gas mask or N95 mask. So like hopefully the tips that I'm giving help people out there that need to know what's up. Some people say don't wear a mask if you're not sick, but why would you not wear a mask? Say, for instance, if you're in the store, you're not sick, you're not wearing a mask, but there's a person that just came from like a hospital and they have to go to the store to get groceries before they go home. So, of course, they were exposed to someone in there that was positive with the coronavirus. So, if you're not wearing a mask and that person coughs or sneezes, you could get their bodily fluids and their droplets. Whereas if you have a mask on, which is called preventative care, you will not catch the virus because your nose and your mouth is covered with a mask. So, I mean, it's up to you. It's your life that you're protecting from coronavirus. Like they were saying, like people with certain blood types are more susceptible of catching, which is A and AB. So I'm not A and I'm not AB, so I was like thankful for that, like hooray. But still that doesn't mean that you shouldn't take precautions in protecting the little ones and the young adults and your grandparents. Never forget anything. Rule number one in this type of situation is that if you're going to the store, make sure you have everything you need in your wallet or your purse. This is not a time to be like at the store and be like, oh man, I need 60 more cents. I'm short. Always take an extra little change with you if you could find it in the find change in your closet that, or some people like to throw their change around their room. You could find it on the floor in your dressers or your old purse or your old backpack or something like that. Always make sure you have enough money to get what you need when you go out the first time, because going out a second time, you just might not be as fortunate, because it's just not a time to be forgetful and not do things right the first time, because this is very critical. Out here where I'm at, people are like loitering in the malls like crazy. Like it's really, really crazy out here. And people are getting mugged. They're fighting at the stores over water. A man got stabbed for the last gallon of water. So like when you go out, just be extra careful. Look over your shoulder. Pray. Read. Stay sanitary and clean, because hopefully none of us would be that 25.9 million that they're saying that'll possibly get sick within the next 8 weeks. So I don't know. This is just like really crazy status. I just never thought that within my lifetime that I would experience a pandemic that's somewhat, to me, is like the bubonic plague. Bubonic plague killed out over like I think it was like 80% of Europe. And the only people that really survived were government officials and priests, because they stayed inside, they stayed sanitary, whereas the communities and the citizens, they would never listen. They would be out doing their thing. Oh, they don't know. It's nothing's going to happen. But next thing you know, a lot of people ended up sick and they ended up dying. So, I'm just like, I just don't want to. That's not the way I want to go. But you know, things happen. You know what I'm saying? And I'll pray to Jehovah God above for everyone about this pandemic. And accidents happen, but things could always be fixed. I know, like, I was offered an interview and about wanting to, talk about the coronavirus. And I was just like, well, I just came out with a new book, A New Week Queptus Alphabet Lessons. And they're like, we don't want to know about your about your ABC book, but it do have a lot to do with what's going on because all of the schools are closed down. Children need their education, and it's a wonderful educational book that I've been working on for 2 years, and it just so happened to come out at this time. I'm just like, wow, like that's kind of like chills me out. But what can I say? There's like other things I wanted to talk about, but I just don't really know what. Oh, yeah, like I was saying, being able to protect yourself and a lot of advice that you get, take the advice. But when it comes to preventative care, it's just like signing up for health care. If you have existing conditions, a lot of healthcare companies will deny healthcare coverage. So, as in wearing a mask, you're fine. You're